Tune into entertainment this Christmas on ITV. The James Bond premiere, Never Say Never Again.
Good to see you, Mr. Bond. I hope we're going to have some gratuitous sex and violence.
It's a blind date in the Yarwood Chat Show.
I'll have number 3. Oh!
And you know, Stella, she still hasn't got the hang of it.
There's the television premiere of Walt Disney's full-length feature, Dumbo. Also, for the first time on television, a skating spectacular, Torval and Dean's Fire and Ice. The drama of the 83 America's Cup and the challenge.
Talk to your boy Dennis. He'll tell you what the cup's about. Sink 'em and drown 'em.
Join up with Jim Davidson in Germany Special.
It's 0 Christmas Eve. Don't miss it.
There's the movie premiere, Jaws 3. And what's cooking in a duty-free Christmas?
You put something in mine? There's nothing here. Oh, dear.
A great lineup of entertainment this Christmas on ITV.
Now, who's dreaming of a cream Christmas?
Television is defined as the electronic transmission of distant objects or events. Philips have just redefined it. A flatter, square screen, computer-controlled teletext, a picture of extraordinary clarity. So however distant the events, our objectives are always clearly defined. FST 2640 from Philips. Take a closer look.
Because we thought making filter coffee was sometimes a bit of an effort, we made Brook Bond Red Mountain, specially freeze-dried to stay fresh and richly roasted.
Lovely coffee.
It's like ground coffee taste without the grind.
At the SO Collection, choose your gifts of quality. Collect those Tiger tokens, make your selection from everything that you see. It's a gallery of gifts for you, and it's free. SO Collection, collect those Tiger tokens. It's free. SO Collection, collect those Tiger tokens. It's free.
Yeah, I know I'm a lemming. I know, but why do I have to throw myself off?
Well, that's life.
Yeah, but wouldn't you like a long life?
Oh, yeah, great. Cheers. Barman.
Oh, that's very funny, very witty.
Oh, come on, Miss Ricots. You only live once.
Actually, it's quite nice.
Shall put your favourite on the jukebox, then?
Who?
Cliff.
It's the smooth, clean taste that makes Long Life the...
Different beer?
Yeah.
Given the choice, most people would rather enjoy a...
What, Long Life?
Yeah.
This is where Britain turns the world upside down once again.
Our enemies are over there.
Plans for company are the company's up.
I'll kill him.
You're getting your town the image of another Liverpool.
No one set of human beings must ever be allowed to deprive any other set of human beings.
Blood Red Roses, tomorrow at 9:30 on 4.
This is Thames from London. The time is 10 o'clock. There now follows a party political broadcast by the Conservative Party.
In the last months of the last Labour government, this baby was born. At the time of his birth, strikes had brought the whole country almost to a standstill. Inflation, which at one stage had reached nearly 27%, meant that workers had to keep striking just to keep up. But as each new pay claim was settled, that pushed up costs, which pushed up inflation, which led on to the next strike.
Now, in 1986, inflation is the lowest for nearly 20 years, and strikes are at their lowest for nearly 50 years. The country is prospering, but I'm not just talking about a higher standard of living. The way we live too has been changed for the better. Stephen is 7 now, and he's at school.
Classes today are smaller than in 1979, and more of our primary school children, like Stephen, get hands-on computer experience than in any other country in the world. And now the government is setting up the new city technology colleges to give Stephen a real choice when he gets to his secondary education. Life's changed also for Stephen's parents. They've been given the right to buy their own council house. Under the Conservatives, 2 million more families now own their own homes. There have been other changes in Stephen's home, too. They've been able to buy their own phone, even to buy shares in the phone company, British Telecom, and now British Gas.
Since 1979, we've doubled the number of people who own shares in British industry. We plan to double that number again. At last, after all the socialist talk, the industries really are beginning to belong to the people.
96% of British Telecom's staff own shares in the company. Now that's a real incentive towards making sure the company does well. And British Telecom is doing well, for its shareholders and for the country. Add the tax on BT's profits and the government share of dividends together, and that's over 1,000 million pounds. That'll help provide for our hospitals, schools, inner cities. The better our businesses do, the quicker our economy grows, and the faster we can regenerate Britain. Like our hospitals. Between taking office in 1979 and now, this government has already completed 66 hospital building programs, each worth at least £2 million.
Today, the government has many more projects underway. More than 100 will be completed in the next 3 years. That's our success. Compare it with Labour's failure. Of course Labour cares about hospitals, but the last Labour government had to slash its hospital building programme by nearly a third. Waiting lists under Labour went up by nearly 250,000. We've already brought waiting lists down by 90,000, and we'll bring them down still further.
Increased resources overall mean that the elderly who need operations for cataracts or replacement hips will in particular get much faster attention. It's our growing economy that's helping to provide the money for better hospitals, better schools, the renewal of our inner cities.
And it's the growing economy that's made it possible for us to regenerate Britain in a way that Labour never could do. Without putting up income tax, without huge borrowing, and without sending inflation back through the roof. Most important, it's the growing economy that is creating the new jobs we need. Over the last 3 months, we've seen the biggest fall in unemployment for 13 years. Now that is encouraging. Stephen's only 7 today, but I promise, under this government, he'll grow up in a country that will be kept prosperous, that will be kept free, and that will be kept safe.
Do you want to play football with me?
What a super idea.
That was a party political broadcast by the Conservative Party. This is Thames from London.
Mr. Kinnock says defense, not nuclear pretense. The CIA man says he knew nothing about cash for the Contras. Mr. Fowler finds how the Dutch deal with AIDS. The rebellious children that South Africa keeps in jail. And in Wild Earth, a £5 million chalice.